And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're going to take a look at some of the ships from the Scum and Villainy faction that came out in Wave 6 for X-Wing. Now this is a third faction. We've already had the Rebels versus the Imperials. Look at these as, well, Scum and Villainy, but think of them as the mercenaries. And so you have these, and so we're talking about two sets today. First we're going to take a look at just a small ship, and then we're going to be taking a look at a bigger pack that basically, that's the pack you want to buy if you want to get involved in this third faction. It comes with a couple headhunters and a Y-Wing, but also comes with cards that change your other ships that you think should be in Scum and Villainy, like Boba Fett. Let's take a look. So here's the new models. First you'll see the Interceptor here, a pretty small ship. It almost looks like it's from Star Trek. I don't know, it doesn't have that Star Wars look that many of the other ships have. And then here we have the Headhunter. Actually get two Headhunters in the one pack, and the Y-Wing. And now these, for the Scum and Villainy faction, have a different paint job. So for example, here's the Y-Wing from the original set, as you can see compared. And here's the Rebel Headhunter. And Rebel Headhunter is okay, but this black and white paint scheme is one that I like very much. Let's take a look at the Interceptor first. The Interceptor here, you can see that it's a pretty cheap ship, but I mean for good reason. It's small, doesn't have a lot of firepower, has some pretty good maneuverability, and in fact, if you look at its dial, it actually can do 180 degree at speed 5, which can be pretty handy in different situations. You'll see here basically the difference here in cost is the difference in the piloting skill. When we move up to the the two higher cost ones, even the highest cost one of 20, and it's when another friendly ship at range 1's defending, you can re-roll a defense die. And here, when you defend against an attack, if it does not hit, you can assign an evade token. So they're mostly defensive ships. They can do a little bit of damage, but not much. There are some cards that you can add to upgrade these things. You can see here the Heavy Interceptor, where you get more upgrade icons to your upgrade bar. And if this attack hits, the defender suffers a damage. And if the defender is not stressed, it also receives a stress token. Then cancel all dice results. So that's kind of an interesting weapon. I don't know how often I would use it, but it kind of changes how these would work. Again, I'm looking at these as mostly support ships. Again, that's kind of reinforced by the ion cannon, a mangler cannon, and then a stealth device here, which increases your agility value by 1. But if you're hit at all, you have to discard that card. Still, this is one where I'm going to sit there and go, what other ships can I put a stealth device on? Now, as I said, the set with the Headhunters in it comes with a pile of cards that you can use. I mean, we have the Headhunter here, and again, if we're comparing it to the old Headhunter, it's actually the same amount of points, but it's actually worthless because you only have one. But again, you're either Scum and Villainy, so you have to pay, I guess, for your cool paint thing. But I mean, there's more than that comes in a set. There's all different sorts of Headhunters that come in here with special abilities. And look, here's Boba Fett. Now, this is the Boba Fett for the Imperials, and you can see that his point cost is the same, although he has a different ability. With the Imperials, whenever he does a bank maneuver, he can rotate his dial to any other bank maneuver at the same speed. Here, when he attacks and defends, he can re-roll one of his dice for each enemy ship at range 1. I don't know which one of those I take. Probably the maneuvering one, because I like maneuvering, but it's still interesting that they're different. And so if you're going to play with the people from the Scum and Villainy set, you can see here there's different types of X-Wings and Y-Wings in here. There's more of the Hawk ship, the HWK 290. And so if you already have these ships, and of course this set's assuming that you're going to go and get those, you now have the cards for them, so you can basically field a full-fledged Scum and Villainy faction. And of course there's lots of other things that come in here, some auto blaster turrets. I like the K4 security droid that if you do a green maneuver, you acquire a target lock. Greedo, hey! We've always wanted to see Greedo, haven't we? The first time you attack each round and the first time you defend each round, the first damage card dealt is dealt face up. So that's kind of interesting. It's useful when attacking, not so useful when defending, but hey, it's Greedo. Outlaw Tech, I think I would take Greedo just because I'm a genius. It's free, salvaged astromech, an unhinged astromech. You can see kind of that this whole thing brings into scum and villainy. We work with whatever we can. Or a hotshot blaster, or Andrasta here, where you upgrade bar gains, 2 additional icons. And there's a lot of these in this set, and it's kind of gives you the idea that everything is cobbled together. So obviously, if you're going to play Scum and Villainy, you definitely need to get the Y-Wing and the 2 Headhunters. I don't know. I mean, here's the deal. I don't know that if you were playing me in a battle, if you had this set and you want to use more Y-Wings and Headhunters and you use stuff from the Rebel lines, I wouldn't care. It makes sense anyway. You stole them or something. I think, though, that maybe in tournaments people might have more of a problem with that, but whatever. So I wouldn't go out of my way. But I can now use the Hawk ship. I can use Boba Fett. I have IG-88, and I'm going to be talking about his ship and Prince Isor's ship in the next video, about those 2 specifically. But I think the 3rd faction has kind of hit the table with a boom. That's a very viable faction. You can have a couple Headhunters, a Y-Wing, IG-88 ship, you know, Boba Fett. That's pretty impressive. Now, going up against the Imperials or Rebels, you're going to have different kinds of strategies mixed in. And of course, there's all these other cards. But I think you get a good value. You're getting all those cards to transform the other ships and the bases and things. So that's pretty neat. So the little ship, I don't know. You know, it's okay. And I would use it occasionally. But it's that bigger set that I think is a must-buy. Unless, of course, this 3rd faction doesn't interest you at all. Dice Tower Judgment, approved!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Hey Tom, the door, go shut it.
There.